on the air with Power Squared, a weekly look behind the scenes, what we hope will be everyone's favorite comic book, Power Squared. This week we're going to talk about prepping for ComicCon at home.
Yes.
As everyone probably knows, the COVID pandemic is keeping ComicCon closed this year.
Yes.
But not closed entirely. It's going to go virtual.
Yeah.
So we want to talk a little bit about what you can do to plan for going virtual.
Yeah.
And what we've done in the past, and talk a little bit about our experiences at ComicCon.
Yes. Now, what we've done before is we make like meticulous spreadsheets about what we were going to do, where it was going to be, when it was going to be, how long it was going to be, and any particular person involved.
Yes. And yeah, we'd have down like not only the programs, but like if there was an exclusive, and you would be very meticulous about this guy's going to be at this place between these hours.
Yeah.
Very useful, very helpful spreadsheets that would cover all 5 days of Comic-Con.
Yes.
And
the fifth day, Wednesday, could still be like getting exclusives.
Right.
As the only thing that.
Right, because there's usually not very many interesting panels on Wednesday for some reason.
Yeah.
And there are very few too. So we've been going to Comic-Con since 2006.
Yeah.
We missed 2008, but since then we've been going
every year.
Last year or so because of Power Squared, we were able to get professional status.
Yes, which helped a lot.
Which guarantees you a ticket for one thing. That's really the nice part of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the lottery to get a ticket as a returning guest or as a newbie to the process.
Yeah.
So that's really nice to be able to do that. But it still doesn't take away from the planning that you have to do.
Yeah.
One of the things that if you go to Comic-Con, you're going to have to, get into a lottery for parking.
Yeah.
You can't just, I guess I remember the first year we went down there, we just found a place to park the car and went. And it was like we had no idea where we were really in relation to the convention center, but we did manage to go. It was one day, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we finally got a little more wise, and then they also got a little wise with the parking.
Yeah.
So there's a lottery usually. There's a lottery for hotel rooms unless you've made reservations ahead of time. We won't discuss where we stay.
No, it took too long to find a good spot. We're not giving it.
That's right. So no one knows where we stay. It's a secret location, Batman's lair. And then we've also been planning on, there's certain places that we try to go eat when we're down there.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be able to do that this year.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to recreate some of those dishes at home.
Yeah. So this year, how are we prepping for Comic-Con?
Well, it's a lot of the same prep as far as what booths you want to hit, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is on Wednesday, if you go to the Comic-Con website, they have a floor plan, and at some point Wednesday, I don't know when exactly because they never tell you when preview night starts.
Yeah.
But usually it's about 3 in the afternoon, and maybe it started at 9 this time. The map will be kind of hot links and be kind of virtual, so that you can click on an icon on the map, and it will take you to a little explanation about who these people are, and you can dig deeper, and hopefully there's a website that you can go to and see what exclusives they have, or if they're selling something that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Not everybody that has a booth will be part of it. Some big names like Marvel is not attending, even though they had a booth originally.
Yeah, Lucasfilm isn't attending, apparently.
Right. So not everybody that's on the map will be there, but at least that's a place you can go and kind of hit the floor, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to do some exploration ahead of time, the SDC blog.
SDCC blog.
What did I say? Wrong. Okay, SDCC blog. The unofficial blog of Comic-Con actually has links. Now they've gone through and went to everybody that's going to be on the floor. They give you their social media link as well as a shop website link, and you can go there and get a little head start about what they might have.
Yeah.
But there's still, and there's also programs that were going to be through YouTube, and I assume they're going to be live.
Yeah.
And you can go to the Comic-Con website and they have programmed listings for all 5 days of Comic-Con, and you can get sort of an idea of what you want to see and who you want to see and how you're going to see it.
Yeah.
And one of the nice things is some of these will be available later as well.
Yes.
That hasn't always been the case in the past. So you will, and this year, instead of 130,000 people, there could be 1 million people.
Yeah.
Or however many that the internet can hold, I guess. I mean, they've improved a lot, but I remember we had many times we were trying to like buy tickets in the early going that the internet would crap out.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they've fixed all that for this year.
Yeah, I would assume so too.
Right. So, I don't think, and the nice thing is you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn and trudge down to the hotel or spend the night on the cement to be in Hall H when it opens.
And eat hard-boiled eggs while you're waiting in line.
Yeah, that was one of the fun things we're not going to be missing is eating breakfast in line to get in.
Yeah.
We haven't really done that in the last year or so, but you used to have to try to get to go through a lottery for an exclusive. You'd have to get there at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And then hope even then there's no guarantee you'll get it.
Yeah. So anyway, this year the prep isn't as intense.
No.
We've been checking the Comic-Con website on the list of the exhibitors and Artist Alley and related.
Right.
And then also
Small
SDCC blog and other social media channels for exclusives that we might be interested in.
Right. And there are exclusives that are on sale now.
Yes.
There are some that are already sold out.
Yes. And some that will be available in the future.
Right. And then some of them won't ship until August or September or whatever. So exclusive, But
so then there's also the food.
Right. That, we're gonna, again, there are places that we used to always go to when we would go down there. Old Spaghetti Factory. Yeah. Because there's not one in Los Angeles anymore.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. They closed the one in Hollywood down several years ago.
Yeah.
So we try to hit that at least once, sometimes twice, while we're down there. Get the manager's special with Mizithra cheese. Then we had to, which we can recreate that at home, that we found Mizithra cheese.
Yes.
But then
we found Old Spaghetti Factory Mizithra cheese.
That's right. Very important.
And then we also drove around and managed to find Spumoni ice cream.
Yeah, which is, I'm always amazed at what you can't find in a city as large as Los Angeles easily.
Yeah, like a copy of Back to the Future.
That's a whole different story. Yeah. But yeah, Spumoni was, we should tell the Back to the Future story while we're talking about it. Yeah. But we did find Spumoni, and there was a gelato place that we like to go to, so we found gelato somewhere. Yeah. Which is not I guess won't be fresh like it was there, but there was a place there we liked. Yeah. There was a couple of Mexican restaurants we'd go to.
Yeah, El Indio and Lucha Libre. We can't really we can't recreate El Indio because we can't easily find a chimichanga where we are.
Yeah, which is kind of scary. Again, you'd think that would be something you could find in Los Angeles. Yeah. In the Valley, come on.
Mexican restaurant capital.
Yeah.
And Lucha Libre. We were gonna make California burritos, which include avocado and fries. Right. For the fries, really make it. But when we ate at Lucha Libre, I liked to get the Surfin' California, which combined a California burrito with a surf and turf, and it was a really amazing combination.
So there are things that we can't 100% create. Yeah. Like that.
And there's also this pizza place we found last
year. Yeah, and we really liked it. I mean, it was kind of weird. I think we kind of hit them late. Yeah. Because you're down there till at least 6 or 7. Yeah.
We got Cobb salad.
We got that on Sunday. We discovered Bub's down there. And Cobb salad. You guys would get a burger, but I think your mom and I got Cobb salads. Yeah. And that's kind of that was a really fun way of ending the experience. Yeah. And it was fun to find new places to go. Yeah. We used to go to Broken Yoke. Yeah. And that was really kind of a lunch breakfast place, and that didn't really work out as much as we'd hoped for, I think, sometimes as far as timing goes. Yeah. Because they close 2 in the afternoon or something. Yeah. Let's go. They're closed. So there's some of that stuff, and the eating breakfast in the hotel.
Yeah.
Kind of won't miss that too much either.
Yeah.
You know, I used to like those little silly omelets they'd have. Not good for you at all. But anyway, it was fun. So there's, and then the real experience we're going to miss is seeing people.
Yeah.
Because it is sort of your community.
Yeah.
And it was always coming back from ComicCon to real life was always like, oh, this real drag. But, and because you always kind of come back and go, I want my life to be like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And mostly it's because it was different all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you have a work life, it's usually pretty dull. The same over and over again. And this was kind of fun and different all the time.
Yeah.
And so you still can find exclusives. I guess it won't be the signings.
Right.
So some people, I think the Bone guy.
Yeah, Jeff Smith is doing a thing right now where if you buy the book, then he will sign it.
Right, that's pretty cool.
And you can also he'll also do signing them on Facebook, Facebook Live, and so if you really want to, you can also tell him when you're going to be able to watch, and he'll sign it at that time.
Very, very accommodating.
Yeah.
So there are some people like that, but a lot of times you're just going to buy a book, and maybe, a week or two later you'll get it.
Yeah.
So it's not that quite immediate. Hey, I got this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things you can always plan on is you're not going to be able to do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
There's going to be panels that you overlap, or they're going to be far away. You're not going to be able to make it, or a panel that you want to see is really popular and you should have been there 3 panels before to get in.
Yeah.
So you just literally can't do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's going to be true probably this year as well, as there'll be overlapping panels. And I know that there are 2 or 3 that we all want to, different ones that we want to see from time to time.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very computer oriented experience.
Yeah.
And we did buy a cable so that we could actually watch it on the
TV.
On the TV. If we all want to do the same thing, we can watch it there.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of nice. There was also anime.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can watch some anime from home, but it won't be the same experience. Which is usually had been very late at night.
Yeah, because that's when we were able to
squeeze it in.
Yeah. And
usually it was the more adult stuff.
Or edging on adult stuff.
Right.
Like Attack on Titan or Upote.
Which I made us watch the whole thing later. Because if you've never seen it, it's girls school, but the girls are actually guns.
But then they also wield the guns.
Yeah. It's very strange.
Very niche. Very otaku.
Very odd.
Yeah.
So I made us watch that. And then there's other things we've discovered there, but Attack on Titan does sort of stick out.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll finish it, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then so the signings we're gonna miss out on.
Yeah.
Or for the most part.
Yeah. The signings are when you would normally meet the celebrities.
Right. So, what is the most memorable celebrity you've met at Comic-Con?
Well, there are a couple.
Okay.
One time we met Kirk Hammett and Weird Al back to back.
Right.
And I think before that we also met the Aquabats.
Yes.
Still the same day.
Yeah. I think so.
Anyway, Kirk Hammett is from my favorite band, Metallica, in case you've been living under a rock. And Weird Al, who's been one of my favorite comedians and one of my favorite musical artists, because his style of parody is still relevant today.
Yeah.
Anyway, meeting him was like completely by chance.
Right.
Because we were at the Shout Factory booth, and they had this UHF poster hanging up, and we decided to ask about that. It was like, what's that? And they were like, oh, Weird Al's going to come by later and do a signing. You want to meet him? We were like, okay. Yeah. So we got to meet him.
Yeah, and he was very nice.
Yeah. I do not remember conversation for the life of me. but he was very nice.
Yeah, and I don't remember the conversation either, but he was just a nice guy.
Yeah.
That was very there was somebody with him, and I wasn't sure who that was.
I think it was someone else related to YuGiOh.
And he signed the poster too, I think.
Yeah,
but.
I really remember he was probably aware of that too.
Now, one thing that you mentioned it earlier, one of the things that we wanted to get signed was Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And it was the writer was going to be there?
It was, Bob Gale, who was, a writer.
Right.
And a hell of a time finding Back to the Future, because we had the 25th anniversary set, and we couldn't find it.
Yeah, we looked everywhere in the house.
Somehow it just appeared off the face of the earth until later. But
so we thought, well, we'll find another disc. We'll find a DVD or something to have them sign.
Yeah, it's probably more signing friendly anyway.
Now, the problem was there wasn't one on Amazon, as I recall, and I've managed to find one at a Barnes & Noble in Santa Monica, and since I work in Santa Monica, I went down there at my lunch and got it.
Yeah.
But it was like the last copy on the Free World or something.
Yeah.
And we took that to ComicCon, he signed it, and then we came home, and miraculously, the 3-disc set was there.
Yeah.
Where we'd probably looked for it.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
But I think we agreed that the DVD signed better. Anyway.
Yeah. And we had some bad, I think we've talked about our bad experiences before.
Yeah.
With the Tron.
Yeah.
The guy who was...
Bruce Boxleitner.
Yeah. That was a very bad experience meeting a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because we should get a better pen for the next one. Like, okay, you screwed up ours, thanks. And
even with $20, apparently didn't afford the time of day.
Yeah, he didn't look at us or engage with us. It was more like, where are we going to go for lunch after this kind of thing?
Yeah.
It was that kind of conversation.
We got over it, but it's still stuck up.
But that was a really bad experience. I think one of the better experiences I've had with a celebrity was Joe Hodgson of Mystery Science
Theater 3000.
Right. And because he was early on, I think it was like one of the first Comic-Cons we'd gone to. And there was hey, Mystery Science Theater is going to be there. Or he was going to be there.
Yeah. And
which we liked him better.
Yeah.
Of the two. And
he is the better one.
Right. I guess I should say of the three. I haven't seen the Netflix one, but
we digress.
Yes. And so he was going to be there with some of the guys from the show, and he went through the line and shook everyone's hand and thanks for coming. And he wasn't there selling something. I think he signed a poster. Maybe we had to buy a poster, but he wasn't there like hyping something really big. He was just there, and he was very. No one's ever gone through the line and shook everyone's hand and thanked them for coming. Yeah. And then you saw him again at the booth. Yeah. But that could be a half hour later, and it was more quick at the booth. But it was very nice of him. That was the personalized experience that you don't get very often at those. Yeah. And I remember there was a guy in front of us who was, I'll say, your typical fanboy. Right. He had a picture of him from the newspaper. He was like the first guy in line for Comic-Con or something like that. Yeah. And he had pictures ready to go of like Joel Hodgson and other people, like just ready to be, like he had this whole backpack full of photographs. Yeah. In plastic that he was ready to have signed. And I've never seen somebody as prepared as that. Yeah. It was a little scary. But being behind, like we were two people behind him, and it was like, wow, he is really intense. Yeah. The kind of fan I guess you want to have, but you seem to be a fan of everything. Yeah. And, yeah. So.
Another cool signing for me was meeting Kazuki Takahashi, right, the creator of YuGiOh, which has been near and dear to me since childhood.
And you got a cool thing signed by him.
Yeah, it was this exclusive image of Yami, and he signed it, including everyone's name in Japanese. Yeah. And then we also got the opportunity to ask him a question.
And it was it was the first time we'd gone through a lottery for a signing. Yeah. And you had to stand in line early, and then it was random. Yeah. Which is the thing I really don't like about Comic-Con is the randomness of everything, and they make it harder, I think, with lotteries. Yeah. Because you could be there at 4 a.m, get in line and not get in, and somebody could come at 9 o'clock and, hey, I'm going. Yeah. It seems very unfair. but we managed to get 2, so you and your brother could both go.
Yeah. And
I think that's when my first or second time to meet Kirk Hammett.
Yeah.
So we gained some time for you.
Yeah.
This zombie in a coffin.
Yeah.
Thing. And I had him sign it on the inside. He thought that was really good.
Was he cool the second time?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's always cool. Always cool. Yeah, so he was cool both times. But but that was like you stand in line for an hour and you like that much time with him.
Yeah.
Now you had a Deadpool signing.
Yeah. I got a copy of New Mutants number 98 before, I want to say before the first Deadpool movie came out.
I think it was a graduation gift.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I got lucky there. But anyway, I wanted to get it signed by Rob Liefeld and Nissi as a... Why can't I remember his first name?
That's okay. He's not listening.
Right. Hopefully.
Yeah. If you are, thank you.
Anyway, Nissi as was easier. But I also stumbled into like being at the front of the line by chance.
Right.
Because I was just asking about it, and they're like, stay there for a few minutes, and then he started setting up. Like, cool. And no one stopped me, so cool. But he was really cool. Very easy to talk to. Talking to him about Deadpool made me think more about got me to better articulate why I like the character. Anyway, that was fun. But Rob Liefeld is harder because he overprices himself, and that's based entirely on his ego.
Right.
Which I can't quantify.
Right.
But anyway, we had to buy this package.
Right. Then he would sign it.
Yeah. And then he would sign the comic. And there wasn't really much interaction with him. It was just supposed to be, I guess, you had the privilege of meeting.
Right. Wow.
And then, of course, you could get your comic graded at that same booth.
Right.
Which I didn't want to get I didn't think I was ready to get my book slabbed.
Right.
But
now you have it signed by both creators.
Yeah. So that is the holy grail of my comic book collection.
Right. Well, that's part of the and the other fun thing about ComicCon is that you get introduced to things you would normally be introduced to.
Yeah, like when we were waiting for Tyke Kubo, which I think was the first panel we ever tried to do. Right. We sat through a Watchmen panel and got into watching the Watchmen. Got really into Watchmen.
You got the whole collection. I had I have all the issues. I had Gibbons sign them all.
Yeah.
A couple years ago at Comic-Con. So yeah, that was that was kind of the fun thing. Is like, wow, what is this? And I feel stupid.
Like,
we totally had no idea what it was.
Yeah, and then we were sitting in this panel for Disney, and we were trying to learn about Wander Over Yonder, but we ended up walking away wanting to see Gravity Falls.
Right.
We got really into Gravity Falls and went to a couple of Gravity Falls panels, including the final one.
You got to meet him too, right?
Yeah, got to meet Alex Hirsch a couple times, so that was sweet.
that was really hard to do.
Yeah, but Alex Hirsch was super nice.
The thing, I guess the other problem is you see something you want to have oh wow, you're here, I want to have you sign this thing. Oh no, the line starts back over against the wall. And you're like, what?
Yeah. So
there won't be that kind of issue this time.
Yeah, so that's when you hit it like a limited run game.
Yeah. But it was always that I know they have to control lines because they have there's 130,000 people on the floor probably, and but it's always like you're never sure where the line starts, and it's always someplace far, far away that you have to go wait for. So and
of course at Comic-Con there's also impulse buys.
Yes.
The best kind of buy.
Yeah, you see stuff that you can't and then we've gotten there early on Thursday mornings and tried to buy stuff. Yeah. I know your mom bought that portal gun. Got in line to get the portal gun for you. Yeah. And sometimes you have to have cash, and sometimes they'll charge it. So I would imagine this year everything's going to be obviously charged.
Yeah.
So there'd be no cash transactions. So you have to be paying taxes and shipping. So it'd be a little more expensive to do everything.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, will we be paying San Diego tax or will we be paying LA tax?
Huh, that's a good question.
A dumb 10%.
My guess is we'll pay the LA tax because it's probably where you are.
Yeah, that was also cool about San Diego. I believe their tax rate was lower.
Yep.
So, and whenever we went to WonderCon, the Anaheim tax was also lower.
Yes, everything's lower than here, except for maybe New York City.
So it was one cool thing about going.
And I do like San Diego. What little we've actually seen of it, it's a really cool little town.
Yeah.
I mean, cool little town, but it's smaller than LA.
Yeah.
But I mean, to get on the freeway on a Thursday morning to go downtown, it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
From where we stay, instead of it would take me an hour to go downtown from where we are here.
Yeah.
So it's just, and they have a really good mass transit system, though it's slow. The trains are there, and you can do that. So I really do like San Diego.
Yeah.
If we could work at IDW, we could live down there. But hey, not yet.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, someday, maybe soon. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
I guess Comic-Con, there was also outdoor stuff that was cool.
Right.
Like Adult Swim on the green, which we got less enthusiastic about over time because it got really crowded. But the first time was really cool. And I actually won a ring toss game.
That's right. It started out being, I think you had to be at Comic-Con and then you could go. Yeah. But you had to sign up. So it was a smaller group of people. And then they opened it up to anybody in San Diego can go. There are people that are not going to Comic-Con that go down or around Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of an experience.
Yeah.
And there's the gas lamp district is set up and decorated, and there's these, I forgot what you call them,
right, bicycle
rides that you can take, and they're all have ads for it, and the buses have ads, and the trains have ads, and the buildings have ads, and it's a big deal. So again, it's just going to be, and then there's the street preaching. I'm not going to miss that either.
No,
we're all going to go to hell. Because
thanks, Westboro.
Because we like comic books. Yeah, that's the killer there.
Yeah. So
there's some, but it's going to be missing the whole experience and being dog tired at the end of the day every day.
Yeah,
I'm going to miss that. Going to miss it.
So, hopefully, this has been somewhat helpful with prepping.
Right. So, again, ahead of time, you may want to go to the official Comic-Con website.
comic-con.org.
Or you might want to go to the SDC blog, which is the unofficial blog of Comic-Con, to find out more information about what's going to be going on.
Yeah.
So, until next week, we will actually be at Comic-Con virtually next week, but we will probably still do the show. So until next week, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And this has been On the Air with Power Squared.